Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
About the life we live, we some hustling niggas, gotta pay these bills. Shit in the field is real. We some bustin' niggas with license to kill. If you ain't down, you better chill. We not joking niggas, shit we say is real. Paper chasing is how we live. We some hungry niggas.
This is not fancy equipment, dog. This is like whatever I had left over from college, Christmas gifts, and just a little low-end Amazon shit on the low, dog.
Oh my God, man! I'm sorry when I wanted you on the show after we had chopped it up in the group, Paisley's group or what have you and everything, and I took a look at your show and here and there. I was like, it's nice to have another brother in the space, man, because it seems like it ain't a lot of brothers doing what we do on the podcasting side. And I call our genre the porn podcast. because we mainly talk to a lot of adult film stars, right? You know, for the most part, you know, even though we do talk to other people, but I'm pretty sure, like, because you say yourself, it was like when you started talking to the adult film stars, that's when the attention started.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you know,
for me it did.
Yeah, but you see, you come from that world. You know, you're a retired adult film star yourself. Me, I don't. I come from, you know, music journalism. I come from hip hop. I come from stand-up comedy, and I was kind of podcasting for years, not taking it seriously, but I think I'm off to a good start, but I don't think that boom with the Thiccness Protection Program has quite struck yet. But, you know, I'm very thankful for the blessings I've received with this so far. So, yeah, man. And like you said, bro, another brother in this space, man, always. That's what I'm all about. Yeah,
because to me, it's kind of like, because even for me being in it for the year and a half that I have, it's like when I see like the list of podcasts that talk about sexuality, that deal with, you know, talking to adult film stars and shit like that, it's mostly white folk, you know, white women or men or what have you. And like, except for next stage, what was next to stage one, shouts out to my girl Pixie and her host, you know, he's Black, the co-host. Dope. But it's like, to me, part of the reason I even started podcasting was to tell these ladies stories. Because when you see documentaries about porn, it's more about Hollywood and the mainstream, not the mid-level, the girls that do it themselves. The DIY porn stars, as I like to call them.
True. I mean, just like mainstream film, you know, there's so many genres to adult content. There's so many different lanes, different niches for everybody. So, you know, I'm just happy, you know, to create community. I knew previously, if I'll give you a little quick rundown of my background, you know, previously the year I graduated from Hampton University was when I started my music blog, Palm, Pretty Awesome Lit Music. So just always being into underground hip hop and indie music, and, you know, knowing about artists before they really popped off, you know, writing a lot and interviewing a lot of those cats, like people on SoundCloud and whatnot. Just, you know, built up my following, and, you know, from there, I mean, I think I did my first porn star interview in 2017. And then, yeah, just over the years, it was always kind of like hip hop that led me to the porn stars, kind of indirectly, whether they did music themselves or they were in a music video with somebody or they just posted, like Julie Ginger posted a GIF of a dude named POS in her butt crack. So, and then I ran into Monique Leslie at a festival out here called Once Upon a Time in LA back in December. Just in passing, I didn't even say anything to her because I was on the phone trying to link up with my boy to watch Too Short. But yeah, man, it was always, I come from music journalism, that's a lot of where my heart is. So yeah, here I am.
Well, we're going to get into all that because I got to do these particulars real quick.
Oh, yeah, please.
And we're going to get into it.
Yeah, let me just grab my ashtray really quick.
Oh, well, go ahead and grab your ashtray while I talk to the peoples, my brother, Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Smokers Lounge here on Anchor, the perfect app for anyone who's trying to start their own podcast career. All you got to do is download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get yourself a profile today. I'm your host, Kavanaugh, the Southern Champ, a.k.a. the Porn Rap Star. Y'all know what it is. Find all my links with one link, allmylinks.com/Porn Rap Star. Let me tell you about 3 wonderful sponsors that we got. The first one being the Facebook of the LS community. I'm talking about lsswirl.com. Next up, the hottest adult magazine on the web, eroticismmagazine.com. Go to today and get yourself a subscription. And last but not least, but also Black owned. For you content creators, we're talking about 90% profit. You ain't got to worry about hashtag issues. And they even offer healthcare. And they give you hands-on when it comes to any issues that you have. And for you consumers, a new place for you to consume XXX content. I'm talking about excitebunny.com. Also, we're a proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. So go over to shopgwdistrict.com and buy from over 500 Black-owned retail shops and boutiques. Also, find me on fullswapradio.com every Monday through Friday morning, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get to listen to me chop it up with some of the hottest ladies in the business. And also check me out on SkyhawkAfterDarkTV.com as well as the BGP LLC app on their SGP radio, and try to say that 5 times fast. So I'm going to shut up and let this man who I enjoy his podcast and he enjoyed talking to thick, big booty women like I do, introduce himself.
Yes. Another man of taste. Thank you for having me. What's up, y'all? Name's Dylan Fleming. Some of y'all might know me as Palm. I'm the founder of Thiccness Protection Program. You can call me Thiccness Pro. I'm still Jesus of SoundCloud. I'm still Black Tom Anderson, and your favorite rapper still owes me money. Let's smoke this over. Mr. Bobby Lucas, thank you for inviting me, Unc. I appreciate you.
No doubt. It's a pleasure because, Paige will tell you I love chopping up with fellow podcasters because it's no different in the porn game. You got to collab with other porn stars, so why wouldn't you collabo with other podcasters?
Bro.
We both, we both got bases and stuff like that. I'm introducing you to mine, and you introduce me to yours. It's only fair. It's enough out there for everybody.
Hey, podcasting, porn, 3 Ps, man. So it's pushing P. I always kind of looked at like when I would interview these porn stars who would do scenes together. I always kind of looked at it just like I would look at hip hop or music as people get on different songs. So and so got a song with so and so, and I even slip sometimes and say song instead of scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because to the point that, to be honest with you, so many of the male talents that I've talked to actually did music. I have done music myself.
Right.
So, and honestly, the game is no different. Actually, anything to do with entertainment, the blueprint is the same, it's just different product.
Oh, you are so right, man.
With you. Period. Because even to the point, like the same techniques that I use for promoting my porn, I have used for my podcasting. Period. So it's kind of like, to me, like part of the reason why I even started this podcast was to give people kind of like the insides of what porn really is. Just like we know when it comes to music, what the inside of music really is, period. So, and 2, I'm talking to another music dude. So people, we will be getting into music. That was coming.
I'm excited.
So it's kind of like, so let's go back, right? what got you into? Cause you spoke on it briefly. What brought you into podcasting? Because like I said, yeah, I know it was a new medium. Plus, like I said, you was coming from the journalism world of music. So, period. What made you decide to roll into podcasting? What was it about podcasting that interested you?
What was it about podcasting that interests me? Honestly, when you get a small liberal arts education, shout out to, the illustrious Hampton U, my alumni, my alma mater.
Yeah, you lucky dog, because the women in Hampton is a wonderful thing, my brother. Because I had a homeboy that went to Hampton.
Oh
Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
We're just a couple hours north of North Kakalaki, so I'm sure you probably been up there and felt what it was like by the sea for yourself. But yeah, where were we? What was it about podcasting? Man, I've just done multimedia journalism in all different forms, whether that was, in college writing for the Hampton Script, which was the campus newspaper, to volunteering at the TV station. Last year, I spent 5 months working for the Citizen app as a street team reporter. So it was just kind of a natural step, man. I've worked in radio too, and been a music blogger for years. So me just being a fan of podcasts ever since high school, just it was kind of only right, and all these different hip hop podcasts.
And plus, you out there on the West Coast,
exactly.
It's like,
yeah, you got to be doing something. So I feel like I've kind of dabbled in every lane. From right now I'm working at a couple TV stations out here in LA. Like I said, radio, and then I've always had my own, foundation as Palm on the internet. So it was just kind of like the next thing.
So it was like when you started interviewing the porn stars, what's some of the things, because it's kind of like we have our illusion of what the porn stars are.
Yeah.
Even before I even got in the business, I trust me, my mind was blown when I saw the real. So what's some of the things that when you talk to them, kind of like, oh damn, I ain't think of that, or for real, damn, I ain't realized that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the biggest eye opener to me is one of the questions I like to ask is, what is the biggest misconception of a porn star? And I think I'm starting to find that I'm just kind of surprised about how many of these women have college degrees and own multiple businesses. You watch documentaries like Hot Chicks Wanted, and you think, the stereotype is like, oh, you're runaways, you're abused, and you do drugs, and now here you are. And while you definitely have that in the industry, you also have, everybody has a different story to tell. So that's, I learn something new every time I interview any type of guest. So I've learned an incredible amount in just these few months that I've been doing Thiccness Protection Program.
Yeah, because it's kind of like one of the things I think, especially when the OnlyFans boom happened, is that you had a lot of people. One, they already considered porn as easy because people was fucking on camera. And I mean, it's kind of like because even the average dude that look at the porn might say, man, I could do better than him. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like they already walk into it thinking that it's easy. They don't understand the work aspect behind it. And these women can't be dummies because they have to not only keep up with the content, but also keep up with the numbers. Right. Period.
And I've learned about so much about how a man or a woman get into this industry. I learned about the whole concept of content trade, content parties, making solo content for your OnlyFans, your clips for sale, mini vids, and I don't know if private platforms is the word, but I've learned about self-releasing and then shooting with the studio. So I'm always interested in learning what the guests prefers, whether it's to shoot with a studio or to shoot it by themselves. But I feel like shooting with a studio is kind of dope because it'll give them a larger fan base. It's kind of like a major record label versus putting shit out independently.
Yeah, because one, they have the broader audience to begin with, and the higher production. Period. It's like that's why I said it's you can mirror image music and porn like it ain't nothing.
Right.
Period. Because even to the point, like when I look at it, I broke it down to somebody. I said back in the day when they had DVDs is porn versus CDs.
Max.
A scene is a single. Your album is your membership site or your DVD. Period. There wasn't such thing as you can go platinum with a DVD. Period. So that's why so many motherfuckers that didn't make it big time in music end up doing porn because it's like, especially male talent, because when they see the game, they're like, well, damn, it's kind of the same.
Yeah, I think DJ Yella from NWA dabbled in porn business as well. I'm trying to think who else, did something, I don't know if it was like on the male talent side themselves.
I know Casanova did his little OnlyFans thing, but then Brian Pumper tried to cross over, but we know how that went.
Right, and then there's Lil G. He's a young cat. He's rapping right now.
Yeah, and Pinky had Pinky. She had an album. Actually, was pretty good.
Oh, dope! I gotta check that out. Is it on Spotify?
She has some lines now. It might be if it's not on Spotify, it should be on her website.
It's that Bay Area shit. Yeah, but one more point about the music and the adult content game, just from a journalist level, is you look at DJ Vlad, some of his hottest interviews are like with Sarah J and Phoenix Marie with porn stars. Then you look at Adam 22 from No Jumper, he's a male talent himself. Him and his fiance Lena shoot together. They got their whole Plug Talk brand now where they'll interview the chick and then they'll shoot a scene with her right after. So as you notice, there is no black face in this space. So
hey man, because I remember a girl put out a tweet and she said she wished there was more podcasts that didn't use sex workers as shock value. And to ask you, period, it's easy for a podcaster to slip into shock value type shit.
Yeah.
Period. How do you kind of, like when you did your podcast, you start working with the ladies, how did you kind of, fashion your brand to where it's not shock jock and it's giving the representation of these ladies the way it's supposed to be done?
You know what? One could be calling my bluff because originally I was kind of into the shock value of having them on there, the novelty of having them on there. Because you think about it, when I come from a underground hip hop fan base, and I come from a SoundCloud kids fan base, those were the rare occasions. And I thought in the beginning, like, Thiccness Protection Program would be like Palm's Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Like this was like in the one with Chanel Barbie and Monique Leslie, the first one I did in person, called it like, this is a special edition of Palmcast. But I believe it takes on more of a life of its own when we really get into like the meat and potatoes past the entertainment level, talking about the mental health aspects of it, the sexual health aspects of it, the business of adult entertainment. So there's a greater conversation to be had than just like, ooh, look at me talking to a porn star.
Yeah. Because it was one podcast that I shall not name.
Yeah.
I shall not name them. They had OnlyFans on there, girls on there. And it's like, to me, if there's certain questions you're gonna ask a female, you want a female that's knowledgeable in it. Because then you just make her look stupid and you making your show look stupid. So It was like, you ask them about investing, you ask them about this, you ask them about starting their own business. These girls ain't even seeing past tomorrow. They're more concerned about buying a Birkin bag. You have some girls that sit there, have a whole goddamn apartment with no furniture in the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because the simple fact of that, it is what it is. Because not every girl is business oriented they get into this?
Well, to each his own, but I feel like anytime a guest comes on my show, whether you're a gangster rapper or a banging ass porn star, I feel like it's like I try to ask some questions to get them to open up and be on my level. So I kind of encourage letting my nerd flag fly. Just like if we end up talking about video games and we go off on a tangent about, what's your favorite fighting game? Hey, I welcome that, because I feel like I want to have a arena that, I keep it fun and I keep it to my core as a, I've been doing stand-up since I was 14. I'm gonna be.
I keep running into damn comedians. What the fuck, yo?
They're among us. It's like vampires out here. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It just that's what I mean about also with podcasts, because it's like, I know you felt this because you've probably been guests on other podcasts. It's like going from being a host, and you host so much, to now being a guest. So now you kind of got to come in a different way, or be a different way on the podcast.
Well, before my high ass mind forgets this thought, it's just that sometimes coming from that, I feel obligated to make the interview funny or somehow make it entertaining like that. So the beauty is finding the balance in between the entertainment and the infotainment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I put back like my blunt. I apologize.
Oh no, what you smoking on?
I have no idea what it is. It's just good. My man did not tell me no strange, no see.
You need to get out here to California, because we'll blow your mind, bro. I just came from the dispensary, so like we got them on every corner.
I'm saying, y'all shit is legal. My shit over here is not legal yet. I have to talk to the street pharmacist.
Yeah.
My street dispensary, in order for me to goddamn get it, bro.
Yeah, that takes me back to those days, man. Like I did college in Virginia, so I can still relate.
Oh yeah, see.
Must be some good ass, some Carolina cactus if it got you coughing like that, though.
Yeah, people, that's right. It's the smokers lounge.
Yeah. Oh, and the funny thing is, Bobby, I wanted to tell you, I usually never smoke when I do interviews or get interviewed, but I'm like, shit, it's the smokers lounge, so it's like we gonna smoke this over. I
had chick got them taking shots. Shit, in the premium smoke room, I had ladies got them up there playing. We're not playing with dildos in their coochie, because with Spotify, you kind of, for what I see, you can tread, but you can't jump. That's what I learned. You know what I'm saying? They could flash. They might could play with the dildo as in like with their mouth, but they cannot put it in the coochie. It's kind of like like my man on Dolomite said, you with the word cocksucker. You say cock, you can say sucker, but you can't say cocksucker.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's really a thing with the FCC. You could say God, you could say damn it, but you can't say God damn it.
Damn it, yeah. Oh my goodness. But she's the little tidbit shit that people don't realize is kind of stupid, but it is what it is, because we didn't make the rules for it.
Nah.
But back to what we were talking about, though, is because to me, I think more people want to know about the adult film industry. I'm starting to see that, because even to the point, like one of my favorite ones, Horrible Decisions. One of my mentors, two of my mentors from afar, Weezy and Mandy B. Sexy motherfuckers. They done had porn stars on there, period, or what have you. And I think the problem is that what happened in the past was that they looked at porn stars as dirty, nasty, taboo, but never really thought that these were actual individuals, that they
absolutely
have jobs, they are married.
And I feel like part of our job as, interviewers in this lane is to humanize these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because, I could get up here and ask a bunch of like spicy casting couch questions like, oh, do you like getting cum down your face? Oh, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you like it dirty? Do you like it rough? And I'm like, bro, that's so boring. Like my goal is always to have the same conversation that we would have, chilling on my balcony, smoking, having a drink or having a, cold glass of something, and just chill and just vibe, and let it go from there. Still with my set list of questions that I'm actually curious about.
Yeah, because it's, for one, especially with our listenership, some of them are people that are novice, they're looking to get into it, or they just want to know about it. Because, of course, the attitude of what a porn star is, who a porn star is kind of different. It's still not normalized to be in it. It's normal. It's more normalized to watch now.
Yeah,
But
well,
it's
because you could to watch. I mean, one click on your phone, it's like boom, you're there. And little do people know it's been like that for like probably the past 15 years. But
yeah,
I think there's all these different lanes to it. I mean, you got your porn stars, and then you got your adult content creators, your fetish workers, you got your cam girls. So I think you have all these titles, and I think it's cool to see in the year to come, like where Thiccness Protection Program is going to go, and like the clientele of interviewees that I'm going to get.
Cause bro, cause trust me, it's like, I ain't gonna front, I enjoy doing the interviews. It's kind of like addictive because you get to talk to them and like pick their mind. It's like I tell females, because see, with me, especially being a talent, some of the females that I actually get to interview, I wanted to work with, but never got the chance.
Yeah. And Bobby, how many? Sorry to interrupt. How many years were you in the business?
I was in the business 20 years. 15 is talent. 15 is talent. But when I came in the game, things was different because it wasn't. If you came in as a male talent, you either came in as a producer that was an intermediate that helped girls get to the next step, or you went to the next step and you was a straight up male talent in Hollywood.
Really? Okay. So, what year did you get out?
2019.
Okay.
I retired
right before the pandy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, actually, more so officially, right in the midst of the pandemic. I got to say, actually, this month would make it. This is when I had to retire. This month, when I think about it, so it's actually my retirement. Going on almost now 2 years retired. And the only reason why I started the podcast was just to have something to do.
Right on. I mean, like I say on practically every episode, the pandemic, gave birth to so many hustles. To creativity is the gas that powers a hustle. So I think that with more time, there just came from more places for the mind to roam, and then you can turn that roaming into revenue.
Yeah, because see, the thing of it is like, for me doing like the research with podcasting, because see, the other thing is with doing this, I seen that it's not just watching what the big dogs do, but also learning the different technologies and shit of that nature. Because it's like I was talking to somebody today. It feels good when people come to you and ask you questions about shit, and you be like, I've only been doing this a year and a half. But
yeah, when they look at you as a source of knowledge, but you're still a newbie yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of like
a lot of that.
When I came in the tail end when there was no monetization. Then they started monetizing. The only way you can do monetize was really like what, Patreon. But right. I didn't like Patreon. I just.
Well, I'm going to get on there eventually, but I want to really just get my foundation down on Spotify and YouTube and just like really just be a good podcaster before I launch into the extracurriculars. I do have plans to, do a lot more subscription-based stuff, but there's so many lanes. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, I just want to stay in mind to get there the quickest, or get there, the steadiest and without swerve, bump into something free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because when people don't realize, like, for what we do, we don't get paid from it. Yeah, no. It's like if someone asked me, they were like, I make more money with the porn than I do with the podcasting. I do make money with the podcasting, not to brag to my listeners, but it's not worth bragging. I'm just gonna let you know. Is it? But the point being is, when I walked into this, I knew it was a long game. Anything I walk into is a long game because I already figured, especially this, because I was like, okay, first when you came in, you was looking, you had to have advertisers or what have you. Then when Anchor came about with Spotify, they allow you to do subscription based. Like I said, with Patreon, I tell anybody if you're gonna do Patreon, okay, this is how I look at it. And unless you record a lot, there's no need for a Patreon. If you're a weekly podcast, no. The best thing you do is donations or what have you, period. Because when it comes to like a Patreon, the reason why I like Spotify better because I can, let's say if I did 2 extra episodes a month, that'd probably be cool. Even though I do way more than that, trust me. I record a lot. With Patreon, you got tiers. So now I got to record something that's going to be for tier 1, record something for tier 2. And if anyone knows, and I know you know, it's the behind the scenes of podcasts is just as tough as porn, people. I'm just letting you know from editing to all. Oh man, good night. I be falling behind. I have to sit down and take a day.
Yeah, that editing is no joke. I mean, you just got to find your rhythm as far as like, okay, how much time you're allotted, just given whatever else you got to do that day. And then like, just find whatever works for me. It's like, okay, late at night is like the best time for me because it's like no interruptions. Mm-hmm. And it's like, at my job, depending on where they got me working that day, is like another good time because if I know I'm on a shift where there's going to be a lot of downtime, I'm like, okay, that's where I can bring this to work on. So you just got to find your rhythm.
Oh yeah, because I know the last I hate we missed the meeting because it was fun. I saw the video. We were talking about in the group about podcast fatigue, and I also talked to ladies and talk about when they take a break or what have you. And people don't realize when you're running it yourself, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of, sacrifice like a son bitch.
Yeah, you're right. And especially for me, because now that I run 2 brands, I feel like I'm responsible for like double the content. And, but I feel like also when a responsibility falls in your lap, God doesn't hand you anything you can't handle.
True that.
Okay,
I feel like you like me is your shit happened organically.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned.
Exactly.
Now they walked into it with a plan. But
that's the beauty of it, man. It happens organically.
Yeah, most definitely. So now we're gonna get to the music side of things.
Yes, sir.
And everyone was talking about the baby. He's from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. And everything that academics said about the old school hip hoppers and everything or what have you. And to me, just to start the conversation, it's like this because I came up at one point I was a rapper. Actually in that group era of, what is it? I could say Wu-Tang, the Alcoholics, mm-hmm. I can go down the fucking list, what have you. And also seeing what came into the day. And why do you think it's this? I'm gonna ask you this. Why do you think that these the young ones that's coming up make the same mistakes as the old ones? But then, because of what Ack was saying he said that the old ones never pulled or told people or this about watch out for this. But I do remember how many of these old ones, even back in my day, was talking about how shitty their contract was. I actually remember a book that came out and said what you need to know about the music business by a black man named Kashif.
So, rest in peace, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, oh damn, he passed.
I hope we're talking about the same person.
Yeah, because it was 2 books.
Nobody quote me on that, please.
Yeah, but why do you think it is that disconnect? Why do you think they still get into shitty deals?
I think, all humans make mistakes, but a smart human learns from the mistakes of others. And I don't think there's enough studying others. I don't think, I think gone are the days of when, like you brought up Wu-Tang. Now,
Yeah.
if the seeds of Wu-Tang were still on and popping today, I think that would be a different conversation. Could you imagine if, the baby grew up under somebody, at a Wu-Tang level, or he, came from Dungeon Family, or came from like G Unit or something like that, or he came from Dipset, and he would be able to study under them. That's why somebody like Currency is so successful, because like, he's been with No Limit, he's been with Young Money, he's been with Warner Brothers, and he's had all these different experiences with these different labels and these different camps, and he's able to be successful independently. Today, when somebody's just straight up starting out independently, they may not have an OG to look to.
Yeah, because when I think about it, even within like the hip hop communities in your town, what have you, because I know like y'all hip hop, underground hip hop community out there is vast in the motherfucking strong.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love it.
Because I'm sorry, there was cats in LA that had platinum albums that I never fucking heard of back in the day.
Yeah. You probably talking about like Project Blowed and people out of Leimert Park and stuff like that. Yeah, like Freestyle Fellowship.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is kind of like, to me, it was like this. When it comes to how these record labels been run, people keep talking about, well, how Puff Daddy did, how Jay-Z did, all these, even what's going on with QC. They keep forgetting the machine been here since and before Elvis. So unless someone comes in and change the game, and the only way you can change the game to me for it to make sense is if you pay the motherfucker for his work. Not give him in advance, no, you pay him up front like you would in porn. Then you get where I'm coming from. Because it's kind of like the argument is about the masses and all that good shit, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like people got to realize Puff Daddy learned how to run a record label from a black man who learned how to run a record label, running a white man's record label. When you have these people that learned that, they're going to carry that because that's what they know. Because they saw that how it made money, that how the game supposed to be, period. So it's kind of like when they're expecting labels to change, the only thing the labels might have changed was they might have adjusted their shit to what's going on with streaming, with these 360 deals and all that, because, CDs don't sell anymore hardly.
Well, you got to understand, man, with anything, with nuances, with change, you keep saying change the game. Well, you got to keep adapting and keep evolving.
Yeah.
Excuse me. If you don't keep evolving, you will not be successful in this long term. You have to. I'm one of those people who believes change is always good, no matter if you don't like the change, because you still have to acquire the skills to keep thriving.
Yeah, because in any game that you win, the climate changes in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, but just with the, I see the advantages and disadvantages of being signed and versus the 100% independent route. And I think I'd recommend artists to, they're going to labels are going to want to see you doing having a buzz on your own independently before they even offer you something. So initially you're going to start independently, unless, there are, of course, industry plants, people who, from some connection are, spawned by the label. But even, they all have a backstory. So I think, I would encourage an artist today to just study the career of somebody they really admire, not just the sound, but the career. Okay, what label steps did he or she make, or what career moves did they make to get to where they are?
This is what artists must understand, and I don't think they take it into account. And that even for back in my day, you have to give up something to get what they're giving you. Is you're not going to get it to where very few cats was able to finesse them. Like I heard about Rush, because they would say that Rush finesse, I guess whatever deal he had.
Yeah, Russ.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I got you. But like I said, not everybody can pull that off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the schematics of it. I just heard that he finessed the deal, people. I wasn't in class that day. But the point being is you have to realize you got to give up something. They just, even when the podcast, when they talk about joining networks or if you sign this or what have you, even in porn, if they decide to be with an agency or sign an exclusive deal with a company, you have to judge what I'm willing to give up versus what I'm getting out of it. And a lot of these cats don't even, because it's like this to me. If you sign a deal this day and age, you know what you're going to get. You know it's in advance. It's just like getting a fucking loan for the most part. You already know how they're going to move. You already know how they're going to probably push you. You know, period. So it's on you to do what you need to do to put out the music that's going to merit the money that you about to get, that they about to put on your ass. You know, period. So even to like, I'm from North Carolina. I'm a fan of the Babies. But this last album,
well, I could have told you that just because, you know, of him being an unlikable character, you know, always getting into fights, in this legal trouble, in this baby mama drama.
It's not even that, because you had Tupac that did the same shit.
I know, but Tupac had, you know, a message, and Tupac was a martyr and a leader. The Baby just seems like he's, you know, you gotta kind of respect his gangster, but he just seems like he's like.
No, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Think about this. Tupac, I'm gonna give you the perfect example. Soldier Story, when he had not that one, the song he had with Method Man and Redman. He ripped that shit. He ripped it on their type flow. You feel what I'm coming from? The Baby gives you the same shit, different day. And to me, as an artist, you have to evolve. Your second album can't sound like your first.
No.
Your third can't. That's why people don't understand when it comes to Jay-Z. Jay-Z, even with The Streets Is Watching, which is probably the most garbage album that he had. And it wasn't that garbage, but I'm just saying. But the level where if you look at all his collection, Streets Is Watching probably the only one that wasn't up to par. But still, he gave you something different every freaking album. Same thing even with Kendrick. I can go down the list with some of these motherfuckers. But the Baby is just like, he got to that bibbity bobbity boo and he got stuck.
Yeah, for real. I mean, you know, Baby had a few hot singles when he came out, but like I've long lost interest. So I don't really keep up. I don't keep up with the hip hop, but so much. If I do, it's more so through like podcasts that I listen to, you know, period. But like that, and two, because I used to rap. No, I still do rap. I have current shit, but it's just the old man to me. It's just like, y'all gotta work on the lyrics, goddamn. Come on. Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it is that you've been in this game and you remember a time where you had to be good. You had to have talent. And today is not that day. And, you know, I'm going to even have my you kids get off my lawn moments, but I also, you know, I'll still listen to people who I was inspired by in high school. I'll listen to, you know, what they drop newly today, you know? So I think, you know, there are people definitely to keep your eye out, but it is beyond an oversaturated market, you know, this rap game.
Yeah, because it's like, that's one thing I can say in my generation, people strive to be unique. With this one, it's kind of like they're falling into the same realm of what type of rap and cadence. And that's why people say cadence, you know, never hear people say cadence. No, yes, cadence.
Right. And I feel like, you know, a lot of these new cats that we're so unimpressed with, they're not in it to stand out. They're in it to compete. But they, you know, they compete by doing the same thing. So, you know, you could be the rippity dippity flow person for this label, or like, you know, the pop crossover white boy for this label. So, You know, I said this years ago. I was still in college. I said today rappers are just the new action figures for kids to play with.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, it's like I hear everyone says, you know, it's about the algorithms, about the TikToks, what have you.
Yeah.
No, the truth be told, it's about the persona. It's the persona. It's like this. I got to give the perfect example. All right, Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
Scarface was a thugged ass nigga. No. Bushwick Bill.
Right.
The midget Bushwick Bill. Been shot in the eye and everything. Actually, the album cover was when he went to the hospital. That actually was the actual shot in the eye that he was going to get the bullet taken out, and they took a picture for the album cover.
Yeah, well, by today's standards, that would have been viral.
Oh my God, yes, Lord. Man, can you imagine? That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like, because people don't even realize, even to the point that the only way we kept up with hip hop was through magazines. You know, for the most part, you had the TV shows, what have you, but not compared to where we could see what the fuck these motherfuckers eating. You know, you know, and everything, man.
Or where they're eating in the case of PNB Rock. Rest in peace.
God bless his soul, man.
Yeah.
That I knew when they said what happened. Okay, first of all, I got to get this out. Y'all should have never blamed that girl.
No.
Because I'm sorry. Only real hood niggas knew what actually happened. Because this made sense. Everything made sense what they said.
They were plotting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all it took him rolling in there, one person, that dude, saw him, made a phone call. Dude came, checked it out, went and got the shooter. There you go.
Yeah.
You know.
And it didn't matter about, that's PNB Rock. They just saw a nigga walking in there in that Roscoe's in the hood, like all iced up. You know, so like even anybody in LA will probably tell you that Roscoe's is just, you don't go there.
Look, I was trying to explain to somebody the other day. I was like, this is the equivalent, only dumb niggas know. The equivalent of that person going to Roscoe's is the equivalent of a dude going to the corner store in a motherfucking Bentley, iced out with about $1 million on his body in Matt Dugaters. If you think he gonna roll out of them projects with any of that shit, no, I understand you want to wear your shit. I get that, all right? But even for my generation, maybe it's my generation or what have you, you got to know where you're going. And right. You got to know where you at.
When you dress as a king, you should not be parading your jewels and your silk and your crown in peasant territory.
Unless you got some shooters.
Yeah, exactly.
See, Kodak didn't have to worry about Roscoe's. He probably had 5 to 6 shooters in the goddamn building. Eating chickens and waffles right beside him with 2 Glocks in the hills. No, you got to have security. And I've been saying this. If you got enough money around your neck, motherfucker, you got enough money to get one guy to secure you.
Yeah. And as vague as it sounds, this just goes back to the topic of you gotta watch how you move out here.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like, because people keep saying yes, motherfuckers might get robbed off of Instagram because, motherfucker might get jumped because of Instagram. Okay, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But some of the shit is that you don't take it to account. It's not even about being a celebrity. It's you don't take it to account where you roll into, because it's hood rules. See, people must understand this. There's hood rules in every motherfucking city. There's certain places that you don't go at all. Some places you go with your head on the swivel. In some places, man, motherfucker, you can walk around butt ass naked. And it's all grave. Ain't nobody gonna say shit.
Well, here's what I think about the PNB tragedy is that years ago he was fucking with 03 Greedo, who's from Watts. Free him, by the way. Mm-hmm. They did that song together, Beat That Thing Down. 03 Greedo was telling Adam in their No Jumper interview that like PNB would like come down to the hood, like saying, "Oh, take me to the hood, let me see Watts." Yeah. So it's like not unfathomable to think that like, oh, he'd want to go to South Central. He'd want to escape Hollywood and not be seen in the, you know, the tourist area one where he's just trying to be low key and eat with his girl. But that was at a different time. And, you know, fast forward, it's like, it's hard out here with this inflation. In the last 2 years, we're not getting the stimulus checks or the EDD. And, you know, this is a testament to say, like, people will literally send theirs to take yours.
Dudes can be up. You rolled up in chicken Roscoe's with enough around your neck for a motherfucker to eat for 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like, because I'm old school, I'm 47. I know in certain places that I will never wear that kind of a chain. It's just certain places. You know, it's nothing against the hood or what have you. It's, I'm not gonna be a target. Because he could have, even if he rolled up in a car, it's the whole point of, like I said, I'm not even going to use LA because everyone talk about LA. It could be New York. It could be Durham, North Carolina, where I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, trust me, they'll know a tourist and they'll watch a tourist. Black Youngster was here. Guess what? He had the Durham police right there in the parking lot of motherfucking downtown Durham of the McDonald's. He was not going to get fucked with.
Yeah, and that's what
there was motherfuckers that was looking for it.
That's why the check-in is so important. Like, you got to let, like, the hood know when you arrive in the city, hey, I'm here, I'm doing my show here tonight, and they might have, you know, a fee for that, but you gotta, you know, do that just in case, because if you touch down in the city and people know that you have money, like, you know, you walking through the jungle in a pork chop suit, as my father would say.
Some people say that's extortion. I say that's a way of business.
It's the streets, man. It's literally the streets.
I'm sorry. It's just certain cities, dog. I'm sorry. They did movies about LA. What the fuck? I'm sorry. It's certain. That's why I keep saying everybody. It's these kids don't understand it. Maybe because because we in the era of the cell phone, social media, what have you. There's hood rules, people. It's just certain places you just don't pop up looking any kind of way.
No.
You know, period. If you know you have beef, you know why you out and about. You know what I'm saying? It's which he probably didn't. He didn't even have beef. It's just like I said, when he rolled in, because I already know what happened. Just for what they said, I can picture it. Dude probably was sitting down eating the chicken and waffle his damn self, and he just happened to look over there. He saw P&B, and he made a fucking phone call. Quick.
Yeah, or a text.
On the cell, or a text. I got one.
I could see that scenario easily.
Yeah. So I'm just like, that's the reason why I tell people, even regardless if, for where I came from, my generation, I can sit here and look dusty, but got $1 million in my pocket. I don't want you to think that I got money like that. You know, period. Because at the end of the day, one, I might become a target. Two, that means if you come at me, I have to hurt you. And if I hurt you, you're gonna go past the hospital. Trust me, I'm not wasting my time. What happened? He slipped down the steps.
Could never.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean. But yeah, they say it's crazy out there where you at, buddy.
It is, man. It is. I mean, this is home, but like, you know, home needs to. I'm ready for the next chapter, you know, elsewhere. But you know, it's this weather, it's this good weed, it's these ladies, it's these palm trees, and this is still my home. So like, people are, well, why don't you move somewhere else, Palm? Why don't you move why don't you move to Vegas? Why don't you move to Atlanta? Why don't you move to North Carolina? Because I am from LA.
Hey, home is home. Shit, I've been here my whole life, so I ain't worried. So, what's some of your favorite guests that you done interviewed?
Okay, of all time, or just on Thiccness Protection Program?
All time.
Okay. Well, when I had Kimmy Kaboom on here, she was awesome. Just the energy, and I know that's a cliche, but like just how funny she is, man. Just like, you know, when you talk about just a Southern shit talking white lady who's just like, you know, knowledgeable about the business and just like kind of knowledgeable about life, but like still like there's there's kind of clips out of her like kind of doing stand up. So it's like you could definitely see like, you know, her in that role. She definitely thrive in that role from one to another. And you know, shout out to all my MILF lovers and shit. Then of all time, when I was interning for Hip Hop DX and Atmosphere re-released their first album Overcast on vinyl, and I got to talk to Slug from Atmosphere on the phone. That was a dream come true. Yeah, so you know, and I'm, you know, I like, you know, the rap nerd in me loved when I got to speak to Brandon Deshay. If you don't know who that is, he's from Chicago. He was once a member of Odd Future, Tyler the Creator's first crew. He's produced for you know, Mac Miller, SZA, Dom Kennedy, Currency. So the rap nerd in me took a lot of pleasure in that one. But for real, that one with Chanel Barbie and Monique Leslie had to be one of my favorites because that was, you know, the domino effect of all this Thiccness
Monique
Protection.
is so much fun, yo.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, shout out to her. Trying to think of other favorites. When I interviewed my man Slim Gorilla, who's a rapper, like a SoundCloud rapper out of Houston, Texas, throwback 90s style. So that was, you know, the first like good YouTube interview I did, like where it kind of looked how I wanted it to look edit wise and aesthetics wise. You know, there's just my whole thing is, you know, with every entry or every personal exchange with an artist or with a talent, it's to add them into the community, and it's to build more knowledge about who is who in the community.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah. You know, like I said, I'd like reach out to people that do what I do. I like connecting, crossing swords, talking about shit. So,
hey, Bobby, I gotta interrupt for a sec. I gotta grab a laptop charger real quick. Give me.
Okay,
can I get a quick minute?
Yeah,
thank you, man.
Because I'm about to end it anyway.
Okay. Well, they turned on power saver. I just want to be sure. I really would hate to lose all this shit. So. All right, let me.
No, go ahead on your business. All right, as he go, people. Like I said, y'all know what it is. Check.
I got you covered.
Somebody call the FBI. What is going on? Somebody like still spewed out. My fans would never speak to me so disrespectfully. They'd be like,
but see, here's the difference between your fans and theirs.
Yeah, my fans would be like,
yeah, you see, you're a dominatrix, so, yeah.
Of course, one man could never be enough for our goddess. You need all of them.
The Premium Smoke Podcast, where all the porn stars come to.
I do.
Shop it up.
I unfortunately do know every bitch that dick has ever touched. Well, at least in the last 3 years. But scene is so hot. It's an hour long. And it was such an intense scene that I actually like dropped into I dropped off into subspace during the scene.
Always causing that good habit and give you that great smoke.
Okay, literally, I knew it was that. Like, I'm gonna clear back when he was fine. And then I felt like this, and I said, "What the fuck?" And yeah, I guess he wanted to get deeper, so he.
I'm sorry, bitch. Just
he put like his stomach on my bowel.
Sugar and spice and everything.
So you been belly fucked. Yeah, we live in a world where we love separating shit. Look at porn, for instance. You got BBW porn, BDSM porn, racial porn. Hold on. But I'm gonna tell you what's interesting. Think about this. What's the name for white on white porn? I'm waiting.
Come to the dark side and let me give you that deep.
Because it also, like,
smoke.
the best cage match ever for me is Tully Blanchard versus Maggot TA, because they fought like two guys that actually had issues. And fighting is not cool. You roll around on the ground and you move.
My way. Alright.
No rush, fam, and I can email you these files like right after.
No doubt. Yeah, we back from commercial break, people. We back from commercial break. So the last topic is, how long you been podcasting?
Well, I've been kind of doing this for a few years, but never taking it seriously until this year.
Yeah,
so yeah, probably. So let's say since 2017 in the dabble phase, and then Thickness Protection Program was kind of like the I don't know the word, like the pinball like push, if you will, this year. But I had a couple good episodes of Palmcast this year, which I'm going to do some more. So you could say between 2017 and now, but really taking it seriously.
Man got two different podcasts there. Man.
Yes, sir. That's
what I'm talking about. He starting like he's about to have a network. So
that's the goal. So that was always the goal, was to have a network, you know, because I looked up to, like the Complex, the Vice, Adult Swim, like South by Southwest, of all these brands who would, dabble in everything multimedia. So like, I would, to have like a podcast network with also like with scripted shows and then do live music and entertainment events is really my goal with Palm and Thickness Protection Program. So it's supposed to be a network. I'm only one man. This is a mountains. I was telling my homeboy who lives in Charlotte the other day, like, I'm only one man. This was a mountain's dream, and I think I'm at a slope level right now.
Yeah. See, people, right now what you're seeing is two kings of the industry talking. See, people, you're seeing two future kings of this industry talking. People, I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you. So with that being said, my brother, tell everybody where they can find the Thickness Protection.
All right, man. Thickness Protection Program. You can find it at youtube.com/PalmOfficial. Just search Thickness Protection Program with 2 C's. You'll be able to find it. Same thing on Spotify, Thickness Protection Program. I'm Thickness Pro on Twitter. I'm not a huge Twitter user, but if you follow me, I'll follow you right back at Thickness Pro on Twitter. And Thickness Protection Program with underscores all throughout on Instagram and an underscore after. There's some other fool with the name Thickness Protection Program. I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever, fuck it.
Yours is better.
Thank you. Thank you. You heard it from my Uncle Bobby, y'all.
So, and he will be back, people. I'm gonna bring him back.
Oh yeah,
like I always do, everybody, man.
We gotta get an episode of you on mine. So, the door is always open for that, for sure.
Oh, most definitely. Hey, I'm always down to come on your show.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's called networking. That's what we do. So, with that being said, people, you know how we end this all day, every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You ain't learning anything. Smoke this over.
Smoke this over. All right, 420, baby. Legalize it.
Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Much love, baby. Peace, love, Palm. And
hey, girl, it's vibe we on. I'm not sure I wanna let go. Don't leave me on. You took over my mind, girl. I know that I ain't alone. Hey, I know you in need of some good love. Hit me on the line, I'ma pull up. Gave it to you till I got your world shook up. Oh, girl, I need you right now. Girl, I need you right now. Oh, girl, I need you right now. Girl, I need you right now. Oh, girl, I need you right now. Girl, I need you right now. Oh, girl, I need you right now. Girl, I need you right now. Oh.